So, Neera Tanden, I rarely talk about her, but I talked about her yesterday. And I'm not going to lie to you. I do, I do delight. I do delight in going after Neera Tanden. I can't lie. I do, I do delight. So, Neera Tanden is the president of the Center of American Progress. She basically lived and breathed through Hillary Clinton for the last 20 years. She's basically a Republican, yet the word progress is in the title of the Center for American Progress. She claims to be some guardian of the progressive galaxy, yet her organization takes money from Saudi Arabia. Her organization is against Medicare for all. Her organization is not against fracking. Her organization is not against tax cuts for corporations. Her organization is Republican. Her organization might as well be Republican. Period. And, you know, she went after Bernie hardcore in 2016. She basically was working alongside David Brock and his paid correct the record tools. She was very active. If you followed the WikiLeaks, you know, those criminal Russians over at WikiLeaks, those leaks. I remember one time, because I was going through WikiLeaks every day when I was at the Young Turks and tweeting like a madman. I think she called Bill de Blasio a terrorist because he didn't endorse Hillary right away. I mean, she's just awful. She's awful. She's not progressive. She's not even centrist. She's Republican. So yesterday I reported, because now she's all pissed off and going after people, journalists in particular, who dare point out that Beto O'Rourke, his record and the money he takes doesn't exactly match his progressive rhetoric. She considers that an attack. Why? Because the Center for American Progress, or the Center for Phony Progressives, they want to elevate Beto O'Rourke. Because frankly, as I said yesterday, it's not a racial thing, but let's keep it real. Beto O'Rourke is Barack Obama 2.0. Just different color, little skinnier. He's Obama 2.0. He sounds amazing, the oceans part when he talks, but follow the money. Follow the money. He was fine in Texas. I would have preferred him over Ted Cruz. I said as much before that Senate race. But nationally, he has taken money from fossil fuel executives. I reported before the campaign that he did a fundraiser with a mega fossil fuel lobbyist. At that same fundraiser, he had Wall Street executives there giving him $10,000 a pop. What's incredible is I literally showed you the screenshots yesterday. Of Neera Tanden basically throwing a hissy fit at like Elizabeth Brunegg, who's a Washington Post columnist, who wrote a column saying, hey, I think Beto run an inspired campaign, but I wouldn't want him for president because his voting record is very pro-Wall Street and very centrist. It wasn't attacking him. It was saying, I think he ran a great campaign in Texas, but I don't think he's good to be for a president. How dare her do that? How dare her do such a thing? So then, who sent this to me? Was it Jen? I think Jen sent this to me. Then, it's like Christmas early, even though I'm Jewish, and it was Hanukkah. And I'm a bad Jew because I didn't even know it was Hanukkah already. Then, Andrew Perez, he's a journalist. He focuses on money and politics. Tweets out this gem. The Center for American Progress donated $200,000 to the American Enterprise Institute last year. You see that at the bottom? American Enterprise Institute? You see that? $200,000? And this sheet is money from the Center for American Progress. And right at the top, you can see that's the Center for American Progress. So the Center for American Progress's forms for expenditures, they gave to themselves, the Center for American Progress Action Fund. They gave to Democracy Forward Foundation. They gave to Georgetown University Law. They gave to the Center for Law and Social Policy. And they gave to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, another establishment. And then at the bottom, they gave to the American Enterprise Institute. Does anybody in the audience know who funds the American Enterprise Institute? Fixing my beard? No. Anybody know who funds the American Enterprise Institute? Koch brothers, you are on fire. Why the hell would a supposedly progressive think tank who all the time is tweeting and ranting about how, oh, the evil Bernie bros are trying to destroy the Democratic Party. And these evil Bernie bros, they won't go away unless they get their way. And these evil Bernie bros just want to burn down the village, and they elected Trump, and they're going to re-elect Trump. It's French, Jordan. Don't worry. Nobody could say my damn name. Viva la France. And Viva la Fed Up, which was the title of my Yellow Vest video. So, I mean, I don't need to tell you that the Center for American Progress isn't really progressive. I don't need to tell you that Neera Tanden is a phony baloney fraud. But, I mean, it's one thing to be that. It's another thing to openly donate to the American Enterprise Institute, who not only are funded by the Koch brothers, they literally, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, they were basically getting their laws and their bills and the wording they used to lead us to Iraq. They were working in sync with think tanks like the American Enterprise Institute to send our armed forces to Iraq for George W. Bush's cowboy adventure that led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. That was the American Enterprise Institute. The American Enterprise Institute is also basically has written deregulation legislation. All the deregulation. The Heritage Foundation, AEI, the American Enterprise Institution, they basically write all these laws that deregulate the environmental laws. This is why you have companies like Chemours and DuPont that could basically dump wherever the hell they want because of think tanks like the American Enterprise Institute who fund the government. By the way, these think tanks are, a lot of them happen to be funded by Saudi Arabia. I mean, you can't make this shit up. And Neera Tanden wants to fight on Twitter with actual progressives about who's progressive and who's not. You're fucking funding David and Charles Koch's love toy, the American Enterprise Institute. So we did a little journalism here today. We didn't only write that piece that I wrote and read to you earlier, but Jen reached out to the Center for American Progress very kindly. Jen, what time did you reach out this morning to them? Jen reached out and said, I don't know what she wrote, I didn't see the email, but basically said, Jen, can you tell us what you said? Jen wrote, I am a reporter with Status Quo looking for comment explanation as to why CAP, a progressive think tank, would be donating to American Enterprise Institute, an organization that denies climate change, proposes deregulation, and seeks tax cuts for wealthy individuals and corporations. I think she put that very nicely, very professionally, and we're still waiting. We are still waiting, Neera Tanden, for a response. We're not going to get one because they don't give a shit. She's still going to get invited onto CNN and MSNBC. Even after she was disgraced by those emails coming out through WikiLeaks, she's on MSNBC. She's on Meet the Press on Sundays sometimes. So we reached out because we're journalists and we'd like to know. We'd like to know. So we're waiting. Maybe we'll have Colin make like a countdown clock for every day. We'll just keep reaching out every day until we get an answer. Maybe it was an accident, like Donald Trump says, Cohen paying off the porn stars. It wasn't really campaign finance. Maybe it was just like an accounting error, or maybe they meant to send it to like a homeless shelter, but it got lost in the mail and went to the crazy climate change denying, Iraq war, cheerleading, douchey, evil American Enterprise Institute. I since 2016, and even before 2016. And Jimmy Dore, and Lee Camp, and Kyle Kalinske, and fill in the dots. We've been attacked as like Trump supporters. Well, not all of us, but I have. As a Trump supporter and basically Republican in progressive clothing, and Putin's puppets, and agents of the Kremlin, and all this stuff. Well, I know one thing. I sure as hell am not donating to the American Enterprise Institute. I sure as hell not only believe climate change exists, but I report on it multiple times a week. I sure as hell don't want tax cuts for wealthy people. I want tax increases on wealthy people. So, Neera Tanden, you know what? If you are a Republican, just come out and say you're a Republican. I'd respect that a lot more. If you believe that fracking is good for the country, then come out and be pro-fracking. If you believe that deregulation is great, then come out and say it. And we will have a policy debate. But how dare you, Neera Tanden and the Center for American Phony Progress, go after and gaslight the progressive movement for 2.5 years now, foaming at the mouth over the Russian boogeyman, when you're literally funding the very people. Charles and David Koch, I would argue, have done way more damage to this country than Donald Trump ever has. Charles and David Koch are the reason we have the environmental contamination we have in this country. Charles and David Koch are the reason, one of the top reasons, we have deregulation at the level we have it. So we're gonna dig into Miss Tanden, and we're gonna keep following up to get answers, because they haven't responded to us. They have not responded to us.